Alright, so I'd say this game's been out long enough to where I could finally glaze up a certain character, and that's Yangyang, okay? Now, I know everybody is all obsessed with, Mortifi and, funny healer that's like real meta, and obviously the mommy character that everybody wants, but what if I told y'all that one of the better characters that we got when we first started playing this game, that not only crowd controls, sub DPSs, and also is a battery to your other units, has been right under your nose this entire time. Okay, I'm talking about Yangyang, obviously. And let me just say, Yangyang is one of those characters I feel is most likely not going to fall off, thanks to her like eidolons and constellations and all that. And because of that, I definitely feel like she is a must build eventually. Because if you're gonna take the abyss seriously and all that, you're gonna need more people on your team, right? You're gonna need multiple teams. And I feel like Yangyang is a perfect fit for a lot of roles. Again, she could be a good sub DPS. She could be a battery for your other units, She could be a crowd control unit. So that's why I believe, of course, that Yangyang is an actually amazing unit. And, here's why, obviously. So, for me at least, I don't have my 5-star pick yet, I'm not level 45. So, if ideally in a perfect world right now, I would be having the funny sword from this, it's either from here or I get it from my pick at level 45. So ideally I would have this, which would give me crit rate and energy regen and plus more attack. Pretty much the 3 stats I say that she scales off really well is all just here in the sword. So ideally I would have that for her, but right now this is not a bad choice either. The scale slasher, only for that energy recharge. Again, ult spamming with her is really nice. Not only for the crowd control, but just for like the bit of damage she does do. And then for echoes, I just went basic DPS. I was very much so considering. Also, don't mind the echoes. I know they're like, oh, they're super low level. I know. I've been trying to put my time into other characters right now, but I did want to get at least a relatively decent build out for her and be confident about what she wants. But anyways, I honestly debated going like, energy regen just for ult spam. But now I was thinking that, I feel like Yangyang excels more at being a sub DPS than being like an ult spammer that uses crowd control. And I only say that because I'd say she really starts getting good when you get this C3. When you get this, because it makes your skill, one of the main things you use to crowd control besides your ult. But first of all, the damage is increased by 40%. And then not only that, but it makes the actual pulling effect bigger, and it makes the range wider, meaning that you're going to suck up more people and not have to be so like centered with it. It's real nice. And again, not only that though, but all her skills are really nice. Like right here, this is just a free 15%. Just for like calling in through an intro skill. And C2's fine, just more energy. And then again, more damage with her ultimate this time. And then her last one is where I say she becomes the support DPS, I'd say, because it gives you a free just 20% more attack for all your team members. So Yangyang could be a battery, a sub DPS, a crowd control, and a buffer, all in the same kit. Obviously, you have to get lucky enough to get a C6 Yangyang, but as this game goes on, we are going to max out these characters, right? So that's why I'm saying for you to get this done now. Start really building her up, and then by the time, let's say we get a good banner where Yangyang's on there, and you get those 5 extra copies you need, you're gonna have a cracked out unit already, relatively built, or if you do full commit, built, and she's gonna shred. She is going to shred, not only from DPS but crowd control and all that, and it's gonna be amazing. Now again, going back onto the battery topic, her outro skill is where she gets this battery from. Whenever you switch off of her, she will actually recharge the character you switch to's resonance energy for 5 seconds. So, you may be thinking, oh, that's not a lot of energy, right? But once you actually kind of see it happening, and while you're actually using the character and gaining energy by yourself, you do notice the difference. Like, for example, when I was rocking her on this team, my Gian never, he never was waiting for ult. he would always constantly have ult. Obviously not now because I just changed her back in. I was actually using Mortifer right now, but when she was on this team and I would use Yangyang and I would switch off, he would always have ult. Like, always. And it was just never a time where he didn't. And so that little difference, you do notice. Like, I noticed it when I switched back to Mortifer. That, you know, I didn't have my ult up. And it would take a little longer for me to get it. That's the deal, right? That's the deal. Either you go Skill Slasher. No, I guess we'll recap here. We'll go Skill Slasher for the energy recharge rate. Specifically. Just to get that ult spam. Unless you're one of those lucky few that have the weapon already from the banner. Pop that on her to get that optimal sub DPS. Echoes, obviously, you're going to want, you know, crit rate, crit damage and all that, and attack and aero damage and all that. You know, the basic DPS stuff. And then for skills, I mean, this is the regular stuff. Prioritize that ult and that skill, I'd say. Ult and skill. Now, obviously, her, what character does that? What's Sephiroth or whatever one does the funny like globe sword attacks or whatever. You could obviously prioritize that. I'd say you do basic attack last as a priority. If I had to give you a list, it would be ult, skill, her talent, and then her intro skill. Because again, if you have those constellations for her, using your intro skill is going to be very important for you because you're going to get that free 20% damage buff and all that. And so because of all that, I'd say you go that and you just save basic attack for last. Alright, so I'm going to kind of showcase Yangyang here against a target you can't really suck up, but you can get real good efficiency on that damage of hers, right? So obviously we open up with Q for that increased damage. Then E into R. Into, I mean, look at that. Already, just that alone, we already took his health down to about, what, 75%? And all of his, like, stance was already half. Just from a skill and an ult. Like, it is crazy how fast she can burst people, and she can just burst that stance of the enemies, or the, whatever it's called, the wavelength. So I'm telling you, Yangyang is crazy. Of course, obviously, my build is not the best. I mean, anybody can realize this, okay? I don't have the 5-star. I don't have the best relics right now. But if you did put the time into her, and if you did grind out and have guaranteed 5-star relics, and you got good stuff on it, you know, you got energy recharge rate, and ult, and skill, and all that, and you really did put time into her, and you're sitting at, let's say, like 1,500 attack, and like 150, 160 energy recharge with a 50% crit rate and 180 crit damage, she is going to melt people, okay? And not even talking about her constellations too. If you had these on top of that, the value's there. The value is really there. You just have to put the time and effort into it, and she is going to strive so well. So, more of the story here is, build Yangyang, okay? Eventually. It doesn't have to be now. Just keep her in the back of your mind that, hey, you know, with all these new characters coming out, you still have Yangyang, you know? She's got your back. As long as you put the time into it, Yangyang is going to be incredible. And I'm going to keep building her, obviously. Hopefully down the line, I can show the true potential of her, you know, optimal build of seeing Yangyang, this DPS, you know, bosses out, and, you know, really showing that Yangyang can DPS and all that, and that, you know, she can just be a really good unit. Anyways, that's it with my Yangyang glazing. Built this character, okay? She's so good. You know, Yangyang supremacy. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.